In the second month of your roommate using your photo for an online romance, dense streams of bullet comments suddenly rolled across the sky. The female lead has already rejected the male lead's invitation to meet 3 times. It can't be helped. The female lead is using her roommate's photo for the online romance. She's ordinary looking and insecure, so she simply doesn't dare to meet offline. Don't worry, female lead. As long as you meet and explain the truth, the male lead will definitely forgive you. And then comes the sweet romance. Friendly reminder, the male lead is a rich, handsome second-generation heir. Before the bullet comments finished rolling, Sue Man from the upper bunk leaned halfway down, waving her phone at you triumphantly and boasting. Jixia, my boyfriend transferred me money again. She paused, her tone brimming with undisguised pride. Having landed such a wealthy and generous boyfriend, I'm almost afraid you'll all be jealous of me. You raise an eyebrow, using your photo to do it? Then from now on, he is your boyfriend. Sue Man's phone sways before your eyes. You see it clearly. The screen displays a transfer of 10,000 yuan, with a note that reads, "For my darling wife, to order takeout." After making sure you saw the amount clearly, Sue Man withdrew her hand, quickly tapped to receive it, and then immediately sent a voice message. "Thank you, dear hubby, for the treat." The bullet comments began to scroll wildly again. Wow, the love between the male and female leads is so sweet to watch. Even though they haven't met, the daily life of this domineering CEO and the scatterbrained college girl is just too adorable. It's been 2 months already. When are they finally going to meet? Actually, the female lead doesn't need to worry too much about her appearance. Even if the male lead is stunned at first, he'll accept it very quickly. Don't rush, don't rush. Isn't the heroine trying to lose weight? She'll meet him after losing another 10 pounds. Lose 10 pounds. You look up at Sue Man's back as she nestles on the upper bunk, eating snacks. 2 months ago, she suddenly vowed in the dorm to lose weight. For the first few days, she barely ate anything and went running on the track every evening, panting and exhausted. But this determination lasted only 3 days. One night, starving and feeling her stomach touch her back, she ultimately couldn't resist the temptation of fried chicken. After devouring a hearty meal, her weight loss plan was declared a failure. Not only that, due to binge eating, her weight rebounded by 3 pounds, directly breaking the 150-pound mark. You changed into a white dress, the belt accentuating your slender waist, and the reflection in the mirror showed a graceful figure. You casually asked, "Have you met your boyfriend yet?" The barrage of comments instantly turned sharp. What's so great about the villainess taking photos? She's just a bit pretty, isn't she? Exactly. Don't be fooled just because the female lead used her photo. Our male lead isn't someone who only cares about looks. Inner beauty is what truly matters. The densely scrolling barrage made you realize in an instant, you were the villainess in a sweet romance novel. In the book, Sue Man uses your photo to have a romantic relationship with the male lead. After meeting in person, although the male lead is surprised that her appearance doesn't match the photo, he quickly accepts reality, and the two begin a sweet romance. To prove that he loves Sue Man for her inner qualities rather than her looks, the male lead even goes so far as to orchestrate the downfall of your family's company. In the end, penniless and starving, you die alone in a rented attic room, while the love between the male and female leads withstands the test and grows even sweeter and more stable. No one cares about you, the stepping stone that was dragged into their love story. But if looks don't matter, why didn't Sue Man send her own photo? The figure on the upper bunk stiffened abruptly and said evasively, "Although we haven't met, we've exchanged photos." Then, she looked at you warily and added, "Jixia, you're not jealous that I have such a wealthy boyfriend, are you?" She sighed, unable to conceal the pride in her tone. You're prettier than me and come from a better family, yet you don't even have a wealthy boyfriend. What a pity." You tied your long hair up in front of the mirror and said softly, "Why would I be jealous? If one day you could bring your boyfriend out for all of us in the dorm to meet, that would truly be something to envy." Sue Man was left speechless for a moment. Without responding further, she simply looked you up and down, a flicker of jealousy flashing in her eyes. After a pause, she added, "Jixia, take a selfie and send it to me." Afraid you might refuse, she hurriedly added, I just want to keep a photo of our roommate." You agreed readily. "I'll take it right away." After sending the photo, you saw Sue Man curled up in a ball on the upper bunk, decisively forwarding your picture to someone in her chat window, along with the message, "My new selfie. Do I look good?" Sue Man's phone kept ringing incessantly, clearly indicating the person on the other end was very agitated. "Didn't you say you don't care about looks?" You took one last glance at the bullet comments. Sigh. When will our heroine learn to overcome her low self-esteem? She sent the villainess's selfie again. The male lead really doesn't mind what you look like. You'll understand when you meet. I remember the plot later on. After learning the truth, the female supporting character couldn't bear to hand over such a high-quality boyfriend to someone else. She even went to tell the male lead, "I'm the girl in the photo." Guess what happened? The female supporting character jumped up and down, getting in the way, consumed by jealousy and frustration, only to make the bond between the male and female leads even stronger. Haha, the male lead is the sole heir of the Lu group. How could he be so shallow as to judge by looks alone? Serves the vicious female supporting character right. She ended up being taught a lesson by the male lead, starving to death in a rented apartment, becoming nothing but a stepping stone for their love. You keenly catch the key information, the heir of the Lu group. You make a note of this name. But who will be whose stepping stone remains to be seen. It was Saturday, with no classes. As you packed your things to head out, Su-man casually asked, "No classes today. Where are you going?" A faint smile curled at the corner of your mouth. "I've met a nice guy recently. Going to see him." The Lu Corporation building was easy to find. On the way, you had already looked up Lu Qingyu's photos online. Though there were only a few, and the resolution was poor, they couldn't hide his sharp jawline and tall, straight-nosed bridge. He truly was a rich, handsome second-generation heir. Your fingertip lightly traced over his smiling face in the photo, your knuckles tapping gently on the table. The coffee beside you had almost gone cold. This cafe faced the Lu Corporation building directly, yet the barrage perspective seemed to revolve solely around Su-man, completely unaware of your whereabouts. At this moment, the barrage chat was buzzing with excitement. The male lead is so busy, yet he still makes time to chat with the female lead baby. This doting romance is everything I'm here for. It's already evening. The male lead is going for dinner, otherwise they could have chatted a bit longer. Hurry up and meet already. I can't wait any longer. You instantly perked up, your gaze fixed intently on the entrance of the Lu Corporation building. Soon, a crowd of well-dressed men and women streamed out. Among them, Lu Qingyu's figure stood out brilliantly. The moment he appeared, many girls couldn't help but steal glances in his direction. I must say, Su-man has a good eye. She really helped you land such a great boyfriend. You quickly stood up and left the cafe. Just as you were about to brush past the hurried Lu Qingyu, you deliberately bumped into his shoulder, losing your balance and stumbling toward the ground. Instinctively, Lu Qingyu reached out and caught your slender waist. The moment your eyes met, a flicker of delight flashed in his gaze. "It's you." You quickly steadied yourself, pulled away from his embrace, and with a faint blush on your cheeks, lowered your head and said softly, "I'm sorry, I was in a hurry and walking too fast. Did I hurt you?" Your tone was sincere, and your eyes conveyed just the right amount of alarm and concern, without a trace of excess emotion. You don't know him. This realization gave Lu Qingyu a momentary pause, but he quickly found an explanation. He had only sent a few distant photos to Happy Girl, so it was normal not to recognize her in person. Yet he remembered your face. Ever since they met on a chat app and added each other on WeChat privately, Happy Girl often sent him selfies. In the photos, the girl smiled like a flower, her slender figure wrapped in gentle dresses, her demeanor as elegant as an orchid. Unfortunately, each of his 3 requests to meet in person was firmly rejected by Happy Girl, and even his inquiries about which university she attended went unanswered. Countless nights, he could only soothe his longing by scrolling through those photos. Little did he expect that fate would bring him face to face with the one who haunted his dreams. Seeing the undisguised admiration in Lu Qingyu's eyes, you suppressed a smile at the corner of your mouth and feigned urgency, saying, "Sir, I just finished my part-time job and need to rush back to Tsinghua University. If I don't leave now, I'll miss the last bus." With that, without waiting for his response, you turned and stepped into the deepening darkness of the night. Lu Qingyu reached out to grab you, but caught only empty air. His gaze followed your retreating figure as he silently repeated 3 words, "Tsinghua University." When you returned to the dormitory, the sky was already filled with stars. The barrage comments started gushing over the sweet romance again. "Wow, the male lead is especially passionate today, chatting nonstop with the female lead baby. Yeah, and he kept asking if she was tired. Haha, doesn't he know Su-man lay in bed all day and never got up? He just transferred 10,000 during the day, and now another 10,000, saying he's afraid the female lead baby might be tired. The male lead is just too rich." As soon as you pushed the door open, you saw Su-man climbing down from the upper bunk. Spotting you, she deliberately raised her voice, half complaining and half boasting. "Ugh, Why did he transfer money to me again? When will I ever finish spending all this money? She walked up to you. Jisha, you're back? Come help me choose. Which LV bag style should I get? While saying this, Su-man stared intently into your eyes, hoping to catch a flicker of envy, but your gaze remained clear and empty, revealing nothing. You helpfully pointed to the carry-all style and said, pick this one. It's classic and versatile. Su-man nodded with satisfaction. As she placed the order, she casually asked, Jisha, how was the guy you met today? You replied unhurriedly, not bad. After showing off, Su-man climbed back to her upper bunk, eyes fixed on her phone screen as she typed excitedly on the keyboard. Tang Yu, your roommate, stepped forward and tugged your sleeve, rolling her eyes in Su-man's direction. She lowered her voice and said, ignore Su-man. Ever since she started dating this rich boyfriend, she's been showing off in front of us every day. It's so annoying. Ever since the day you met as freshmen, Su-man had been determined to compete with you in academics, looks, and family background, but she lost every time. So she turned her attention to dating apps, hoping to land a wealthy husband and finally crush you in the boyfriend department. After successfully connecting with Lu Qingyu, she finally felt she had the upper hand. After showing off, Su-man climbed back to her upper bunk, her eyes fixed on the phone screen as she typed on the keyboard with great enthusiasm. Tang Yu from the same dormitory stepped forward, tugged at your arm, rolled her eyes in Su-man's direction, and whispered, ignore Su-man. Ever since she started dating this rich boyfriend, she's been showing off in front of us every day. It's so annoying. She paused, then asked, what about the guy you know? Are you meeting him again tomorrow? Su-man paid no attention, still cooing into her phone with a sweet voice. My dear hubby is the best. Love you, moi. A meaningful smile curls at the corner of your lips. Of course we'll meet tomorrow. Otherwise, some people might start getting anxious. The next day was Sunday, with no classes. You got ready early and headed out. Just as you stepped beyond the school gate, you spotted a luxury car parked right outside. It was Lu Qingyu's car. Perhaps worried about causing misunderstandings among passing students, Lu Qingyu had specifically gotten out of the car to wait for you. His handsome appearance drew frequent glances from many around. Upon seeing you, he waved from a distance. You approached with feigned confusion, and he smiled as he spoke. I was the one who bumped into you yesterday, so I came today specifically to make amends. Can I give you a ride to your part-time job? Clearly, it was you who had bumped into him. Yet Lu Qingyu insisted on taking the blame himself, using this clumsy excuse to strike up a conversation. You hesitated and said, that's really not necessary. I can just take the bus. Lu Qingyu had already opened the passenger door. It's no trouble at all. Let me drive you. Your part-time job isn't far from my company, so it's on my way. You hesitated for a moment before getting into the car somewhat awkwardly. Lu Qingyu seemed to be in a good mood, steering with one hand as he asked with a hint of curiosity, is the coursework at Tsinghua University very demanding? Why do you still take on part-time work on weekends? You tilted your head and grinned playfully. My family wants me to gain some experience, so they don't give me a very generous allowance. That's why I'm doing some part-time work to supplement it. Lu Qingyu's face grew even more puzzled. He had just transferred 20,000 to Happy Girl yesterday, so how could she be short on living expenses? But he didn't voice the question. The car stopped in front of a coffee shop, the part-time job you had just secured yesterday. You swiftly got out of the car, slipped behind the counter, and began grinding coffee beans under the staff's guidance. Lu Qingyu didn't leave. Instead, he sat at the table closest to you and ordered an iced Americano. You carried the coffee over, smiling as you placed the cup on the table. Lu Qingyu suddenly asked, that vintage Alhambra necklace I gave you, you're not wearing it? You remembered that necklace. In the first week after Su-man announced she was in a relationship, she received that luxury necklace. At the time, she couldn't put it down, turning it over and over in her hands, and even sent a coy WeChat message saying, sweetie, I'll definitely wear it all the time. That necklace had indeed hung around her neck ever since, but what did that have to do with you? You feigned ignorance and shook your head. What necklace? I've never had a necklace. Lu Qingyu froze on the spot. A few drops of coffee splashed onto the back of his hand, but he didn't even notice. You turned and went back to the counter to continue grinding coffee beans. The rich, roasted aroma wafted from the coffee machine. A scorching gaze remained fixed on your back, never shifting away. He finished his coffee quickly. You suddenly turned around and asked with a faint smile, Sir, would you like a refill for your iced Americano? Caught off guard, Lu Qingyu's eyes darted away. He stammered, yes, a refill. After his cup was refilled, he looked at you and suddenly realized with a jolt. Your voice was completely different from the one in the WeChat messages. The you before him had a voice tinged with a certain light sweetness, while the happy girl on WeChat sounded noticeably more subdued. Their personalities seemed to differ as well. The you in front of him appeared shyer and more reserved than the one on WeChat. Your work badge hung on your chest. Lu Qingyu caught a glimpse of it by chance, his voice suddenly rising a notch. Your name is Wen Jixia? No, the one in WeChat is called Su Man. Lu Qingyu quickly opened WeChat and tapped into Su Man's moments. Every photo inside was of the girl before him. Your every smile and frown had long been etched in his mind, yet there were so many differences between you. Personality, voice, even your name. Just as he hesitated, a WeChat message suddenly popped up, sent by Su Man. Brother Lu, what are you up to? Another day missing you. Lu Qingyu's gaze fell upon you once more. You were looking at him with a puzzled expression, your hands empty, holding no phone. So, who was the one who sent him that WeChat message? Lu Qingyu's hand trembled violently. You asked with concern, Sir, what's wrong? He suppressed the suspicion in his heart. It's nothing, You turned and brought over a freshly made cappuccino. I just made this, sir. Please try it. This one is on me. Lu Qingyu took the coffee, his fingers inadvertently brushing against yours, hot as glowing embers. After the brief contact, he downed the coffee in one gulp, the bitterness completely gone, leaving only the sweet fragrance of milk spreading in his mouth. He had already drunk 3 cups of coffee today, his mind exceptionally clear. Seeing you about to leave, he quickly caught up and pulled out his phone. Miss Wen, may I have your contact information? His gaze was intense. After a slight hesitation, you took out your phone and added him on WeChat. He thoughtfully typed in his own name for you, Lu Qingyu. Over the following week, Lu Qingyu became unusually active, always finding various topics to chat with you about on WeChat. You talked about everything under the sun, each conversation ending with a sense of not having enough time. But as you had mentioned before, the academic workload at Tsinghua University was indeed heavy. Messages he sent in the morning often only received your replies in the evening. Yet he always managed to pick up the conversation instantly, as if he had been waiting by his phone for you. This week, you were very busy, while Su Man, on the upper bunk diagonally across from you, grew increasingly restless. She would frequently take out her phone and type away furiously, but after sending messages, she rarely heard the notification sound of a reply, making her more and more anxious. The barrage was also filled with confusion. What's up with the male lead these days? Why is he ignoring the female lead baby? Yeah, Su Man sent several WeChat messages, and he only replied to 1 or 2, or even didn't reply at all. Oh, the male lead has such a big company to manage and needs to earn money for the female lead to spend. How can he respond anytime? This situation lasted until Saturday, the time you were supposed to do your part-time job, but you didn't leave the campus. Instead, you slept in on your bed for the first time in a long while. At 10 in the morning, a WeChat message popped up from Lu Qingyu. Jixia, didn't you go to the cafe for your part-time job this morning? You replied, I caught a cold today and took leave early. Is there something you need, Mr. Lu? Lu Qingyu paused his fingers, then hurriedly covered up. It's nothing. I was just passing by your school and thought I'd pick you up for your part-time job on the way. He was lying. He had clearly waited at the school gate all morning without seeing a trace of you. Lu Corporation and Tsinghua University were located in the south and north of Tsinghua City respectively. How could it possibly be on the way? You didn't reply to this message. Instead, you got up, tidied up briefly, and took a selfie. In the photo, you looked pitiful and listless. You captioned it, caught a cold, feeling awful. Not long after the post went up on your social feed, Tang Yu rubbed her sleepy eyes and asked, Jixia, do you have a cold? You sniffled, a little, but it's not too bad. Su Man on the upper bunk glanced at you upon hearing this, then quickly typed and sent a message. The barrage of comments erupted with laughter. Haha, the female lead baby intentionally posted on her social media about having a cold. Now the male lead should take a break from his busy work, right? Feel sorry for the female lead. The male lead hasn't really chatted with her much this whole week. I remember a month ago when the female lead said she sprained her ankle while running. The male lead was so worried he sent a bunch of nutritional supplements and even transferred 10,000 yuan for her to rest and recover without worry. Unfortunately, the female lead left the address at the supermarket outside the school. The local courier would deliver it soon, and she would have to put in a lot of effort to carry it back to the dormitory. Looking forward to what the male lead will buy this time. Thinking.jpg. Lu Qingyu sat in the driver's seat, facing the gate of Tsinghua University. On his phone, 2 identical posts appeared in his WeChat moments. Both were your selfies, with exactly the same caption, caught a cold, feeling awful. He carefully compared the two WeChat accounts and found that their contents were completely identical. If not for the different profile pictures and names, he would have almost thought his eyes were playing tricks on him. But soon, he noticed a clue. When Jixia always posted updates in her moments about 10 minutes earlier than Su Man. Even this post about catching a cold was posted 5 minutes earlier. After pausing for a moment with his fingertips hovering over the two WeChat accounts, Lu Qingyu kept recalling the shy, gentle smile of the girl from the coffee shop. Without hesitation, he opened your WeChat interface and sent a message. Jixia, I'm having some things delivered to you locally. Could you please share the address of your dormitory building at Tsinghua University? As bags of various sizes were being moved into the dormitory, Tang Yu was the first to approach. Wow, Jixia, did your boyfriend buy all this for you? You quickly denied it. He's not my boyfriend, just a friend I met not long ago. Tang Yu mysteriously linked arms with you. Jixia, last weekend, my best friend from the art department went off campus and saw a luxury car parked at the school gate waiting for you. She also said the guy was incredibly handsome. Tell the truth. Are you secretly dating someone behind our backs? You thought of Lu Qingyu's handsome features and gentle demeanor, and your cheeks instantly flushed red. We haven't defined our relationship yet, so don't talk nonsense. He came to pick you up, and you still haven't defined it? Tang Yu raised her voice. My friend said that luxury car is worth at least 4 million. The words 4 million struck Su Man's nerves sharply. She cast a disdainful glance at you and snorted coldly. Huh, no matter how rich you are, can you compare to my boyfriend? Tang Yu replied in a voice neither too loud nor too soft. Su Man, we still haven't met your boyfriend yet. Su Man's hands suddenly stiffened. Indeed, not only had her roommates never seen him, she herself hadn't either. At this thought, her heart skipped a beat. Over the past week, Lu Qingyu's attitude toward her had clearly cooled significantly. He would only reply with 1 or 2 messages after she sent 10 on WeChat. Just earlier, she had pitifully sent a message saying, Brother Lu, I have a cold, I feel so awful. But 2 hours had passed with no response from him. Even if she were slow to notice, she could sense something was off. Could it be that Lu Qingyu was angry because she had turned down 3 meeting requests? Su Man's mood sank, her fingers gripping her phone tightly, tangled in anxiety. At that moment, your WeChat notification chimed. It was a message from Lu Qingyu. Jixia, are you free this evening? I'd like to invite you to dinner. A faint smile curled at the corner of your lips as you replied. All right, Mr. Lu, you make the arrangements. He responded quickly. Then let's go to the newly opened French restaurant, Chuchador. It's a date. Just as the meeting place was settled, an explosive message suddenly flashed across the bullet comments. The female lead is finally going to meet him. The bullet comments instantly became dense, almost obscuring the original text. The long-awaited meeting is finally coming. The male lead must be overjoyed. He's probably grinning like a fool in his office right now. Spoiler alert. After meeting, the male lead is first surprised that her appearance doesn't match. Then the female lead tearfully confesses the truth. The male lead quickly accepts it, and the two start showering each other with affection. Say yes to him, sweetheart. Can't you see the male lead's heart is about to break from waiting? After sending the message about meeting, Su Man's heart pounded wildly, almost leaping out of her throat. Lu Qingyu had proposed meeting 3 times before, and she had tactfully declined each time. This time, she was the one who took the initiative. On the WeChat interface, the chat box still displayed the message she had sent. Brother Lu, let's meet. She felt as if she were awaiting a verdict or bracing for a blade to fall upon her head. After a long while, a terse reply finally came from the other side. Okay, let's meet tonight at Chuchador restaurant. Su Man kept staring at this sentence, feeling somewhat disappointed after confirming there was no second message. The barrage was also filled with disappointment. What's wrong with the male lead? Why is he so cold? Hey, he must be too excited. We can't see his perspective, but I bet he's already so thrilled he can't hold his phone steady. After all, he's been begging for this meeting for so long. There's a surprise at the meeting. The surprise is that the female lead looks different from her photos. I really want to see the male lead's shocked and doting expression. Sounds more like a shock than a surprise. Don't talk nonsense upstairs. They arranged to meet at the French revolving restaurant, which overlooks the night view of Tsinghua City. How romantic. Wait, the villainess is also dating? I think I heard her telling her roommate she's meeting someone tonight. Hey, no matter who she dates, she can't compare to Lu Qingyu's family fortune. Is that so? What if she's talking about the same person as Su Man? The entire afternoon, Su Man was in a frenzy. She pulled out every piece of clothing from her wardrobe, trying them on one by one, and finally settled on a loose, figure-concealing trench coat. Standing in front of the mirror, she kept psyching herself up. Tang Yu sighed. Both of you have dates tonight, leaving only Fei Fei and me to guard the dorm. Su-man shot you a disdainful glance. Humph. I'm going to the most upscale restaurant in the city, not some roadside stall. Tang Yu rolled her eyes and leaned closer to you. Zhixia, when you meet that potential boyfriend tonight, you must win him over. You blushed. Don't talk nonsense. There's nothing between us yet. Su-man stormed out of the room with her nose in the air. More than 10 minutes later, you also left the dormitory building. Tonight's barrage of comments was scrolling unusually densely. When Su-man took a taxi to the Chuchiter restaurant, the comments almost formed a continuous stream. Nervously straightening her clothes, she spotted the tall, handsome figure at the restaurant entrance at a glance. Exactly like in the photo, holding a large bouquet of roses. Su-man's eyes curved into a smile. Although Lu Qingyu had been somewhat distant lately, he clearly still had her in his heart. That bouquet of red roses was in full, vibrant bloom, each blossom plump and clearly expensive. The barrage joined in the teasing. The iconic scene is here. Come and witness it. After the female lead confesses her identity, the male lead is first shocked, then accepts it. Once they meet in person, they start showering each other with affection. Be bold, female lead. Go up and tell him who you are. Lu Qingyu held the bouquet of roses, looking around. His gaze swept past Su-man several times, only to shift away without a ripple. Su-man mustered her courage, walked up to him, raised her eyes shyly, and said, "Brother Lu, I am happy girl." Lu Qingyu was stunned. He had been standing there for a while and had already glimpsed this ordinary-looking girl, merely thinking she was a passerby. He never expected she was the happy girl he had been chatting with for 2 months. He lowered his gaze to examine Su-man. The girl was slightly plump, her appearance barely passable as cute. He wasn't one to judge by appearances, but before this, he had fallen asleep countless times looking at your photo, had seen your real face with his own eyes, and over this past week, he had chatted with you extensively, growing increasingly convinced that you and Happy Girl were completely different. You seemed shy and timid on the surface, but as conversations deepened, you revealed an exceptionally witty and humorous side. Unconsciously, he had long lost any desire to chat with Su-man, his entire heart already devoted to you. Seeing Lu Qingyu remain unresponsive, Su-man nervously twisted her fingers, mustering her courage once more. "Brother Lu, I'm sorry. I used someone else's photos to deceive you before, but my feelings for you are genuine. Can you forgive me?" Lu Qingyu made no move, his tightly furrowed brows betraying the annoyance in his heart. If he had never met you, he might have reluctantly dealt with the girl before him. But now his mind was completely filled with thoughts of you. Meeting Su-man today was only to make things clear face to face. The barrage didn't notice Lu Qingyu's reluctance and continued cheering fervently. "Go for it, male lead. Forgive the female lead, baby. Don't hesitate anymore. Hand her the roses and tell her deeply that you don't care about appearances. Will we finally get to see some sweetness tonight? Huh, why is the villainess here too?" Through the crowd, Lu Qingyu spotted you at a glance and couldn't help calling out, "Zhixia." Su-man instantly stiffened as if facing a formidable enemy. She turned and stared fixedly at you, even attempting to block Lu Qingyu's line of sight. "Wen Zhixia, what are you doing here?" She sneered. "Huh, don't tell me you found out I'm dating a wealthy boyfriend and deliberately chased after us to try and meddle?" The barrage of comments chimed in agreement. "Exactly. What's the vicious supporting female character doing here, stirring up trouble? I remember a similar plot in the book." The male lead later met the female supporting character. Though he was briefly stunned by her beauty, he forgot about her right after. The female supporting character definitely wouldn't be willing to let go of such an outstanding, rich second-generation heir. She'd run up and claim the photo was hers, only to end up humiliated by the male lead. Heh, I'll get to watch the female supporting character play the fool any moment now. Can't wait to see the male lead domineeringly protect his woman and declare his sovereignty. You pretended to look at the two of them in shock, your eyes quickly welling up with tears as if you had suffered an immense injustice. Raising a trembling finger in disbelief, you said, "You're actually Su-man's boyfriend?" Lu Qingyu flusteredly pushed Su-man away. "No, Zhixia, I only like you. I've never liked anyone else." Su-man shrieked sharply. "Brother Lu, I admit the photo was fake, but all this time, the one who's been chatting with you is me." She pulled out her phone, flipping through the chat history to prove her identity. Without a second thought, Lu Qingyu brushed her hand away in disgust. "It was Zhixia I liked from the very beginning, and after meeting her, I liked you even more. What does that have to do with you? The reason I asked you out today was to make this clear." Su-man never expected that the long-awaited meeting would turn out like this. She could only desperately plead, "No, The photo I gave you was fake, but my feelings for you are real. She didn't know how to explain, and the barrage comments were utterly stunned. Wait, this isn't right. This is different from the original plot. Where's the promised sweet romance? How did it turn into a failed meetup scene? When did the supporting female character meet the male lead in private? Why does she always deliberately get between the main couple? Don't talk nonsense. Commenter above. The supporting female character clearly knows nothing about this. How can you say she's doing it on purpose? The barrage erupted into a fierce argument over this matter. Suppressing a faint smile at the corner of your lips, you wore an expression of utter heartbreak and resignation. Mr. Liu, since you already have a girlfriend, please don't be fickle anymore. Let's just pretend we never knew each other. After saying that, you lowered your head and jogged away, ignoring Lu Qingyu's calls from behind without looking back. You blocked Lu Qingyu on WeChat and also blacklisted his phone number. After returning to the dorm, you buried yourself under the blanket. He called you from countless different numbers, but you hung up every time. The phone screen flickered on and off, much like Lu Qingyu's heart, soaked in icy water and tormented repeatedly. 2 hours later, Suman finally returned to the dorm. She looked utterly dejected and, upon seeing you, couldn't help but burst out. When Jixia, brother Lu broke up with me. Are you satisfied now? Holding back tears, you looked at her stubbornly. I never knew he was your boyfriend. I haven't even met you before. How could I have known him? I only ran into him by chance while working part-time at the cafe. You paused, feigning confusion. But, I'm really curious. Why did he act so strangely the first time he saw me, insisting on getting close to me? Suman's face instantly changed. Tang Yu chimed in from the side. Clearly, you used Jixiao's photo for online dating. When your boyfriend actually met Jixiao in person, isn't it normal that he couldn't help but approach her? If you had sent your own photo in the first place, none of this would have happened. With her secret exposed, Suman fell completely silent. She just shot you a resentful glare, climbed back to her upper bunk, tossed, and turned for half the night, clutching her phone and sending messages nonstop. The next day was the weekend. Instead of heading out to your part-time job at the cafe, you stayed on campus and enjoyed a good, long sleep. You got up and went downstairs at 10 o'clock, only to find Lu Qingyu waiting outside the dormitory building. It was unclear how long he had been there. The moment your eyes met, you quickly turned your face away, lowered your head, and strode past him. Lu Qingyu didn't miss the redness in your eyes. As you passed by, he reached out and grabbed your arm, his voice hoarse as he said, Jixiao, I can explain. Please don't block me, okay? You break free from his grasp, avoiding his eyes. Mr. Liu, I never intended to come between you and your girlfriend. Let's just pretend we never met. You walk away quickly, leaving only a lonely silhouette for Lu Qingyu. His hand hangs in midair, grasping nothing but empty air. Through the dormitory window, you clearly see Suman's face twisted with jealousy and hatred, glaring at you with gritted teeth. You breathe a sigh of relief, feeling a sense of release, and after leaving the school gate, you board a bus directly. The bus sways and jostles on its way to the cafe in the city, closely followed by a sleek and conspicuous Maybach, Lu Qingyu's car, trailing slowly behind you. You gaze calmly out the window, where bullet comments continue to scroll across the sky. What's going on? Why is the male lead ignoring the female lead? She wrote a 1,000-word essay of repentance last night. Exactly. Suman sent him several WeChat messages, and he either didn't reply or only sent 1 or 2 back. Oh my, the male lead has such a large company to manage. How could he respond to everything immediately? You slowly avert your gaze. The barrage of comments always says you are the clownish obstacle standing between them. This time, without you, will they fall in love as they did in the original plot? You head straight to the cafe, and Lu Qingyu follows you. Standing behind the service counter, you keep grinding coffee beans. Lu Qingyu sits at the table closest to you, his gaze fixed intently on you. He orders a cappuccino. After you serve the steaming hot coffee to his table, you resist the urge to look at him, turn around, and are about to leave. He anxiously reaches out to grab you, accidentally knocking over the coffee and scalding a large patch of skin on the back of his hand. You exclaim in alarm, Mr. Liu, your hand. You pull him to the faucet to rinse it. Completely disregarding the redness and swelling on his hand, he looks at you excitedly and says, Jixiao, you're finally willing to acknowledge me. You carefully applied the burn ointment for him and said softly, even though we can't be together, we can still be friends. Your tone was filled with melancholy. Lu Qingyu hurriedly explained, Jixiao, Suman initially used your photo to date me. So from the very beginning, it was you I loved, never anyone else. I only like you. He almost shouted these words, his reaction completely different from the original plot. In the original storyline, he would have looked at you with disdain and sneered. So what if Su Man used your photo? I like her for who she is, not her appearance. Do you think telling me the truth would make me like you? Stop daydreaming. Just by meeting him a few days earlier, you completely altered the plot and avoided your predetermined tragic fate. After treating his burn, Lu Qingyu gazed at you affectionately and said, Jixia, will you be my girlfriend? You didn't agree to his confession, but Lu Qingyu became even more determined and persistently began pursuing you. He stubbornly added you back on WeChat, constantly transferring money to you, calling it correcting past mistakes. Watching Su Man's increasingly resentful glare, you felt completely unmoved inside. During the second week of Lu Qingyu's grand pursuit of you, during the noon break, Tang Yu fiddled with her phone and suddenly pointed at the school confession wall, exclaiming, Jixia, you've been posted on the wall as the other woman. You finally understood why you had been pointed at and whispered about whenever you went out these past few days. You took out your phone and found the confession wall. The post about you was pinned at the very top with the title, The Other Woman Interfering. Do you really like someone else's boyfriend that much? The post detailed the process of how you interfered in the relationship between Lu Qingyu and Su Man, and even included a high-definition photo of you. In the comments section below, netizens were outraged. Isn't this Wen Zhixiao from the Chinese department? Usually so quiet. Who would have thought she'd be so scheming? Hey, didn't you read the post? That Mr. Lu is a wealthy young master. Of course a gold digger would try to climb her way up. No matter how ambitious you are, you can't just steal someone else's boyfriend. That's utterly immoral. The post's popularity skyrocketed, staying at the top of the list for 2 days. The atmosphere in the dormitory grew unbearably tense. You held up your phone and looked at Su Man. Did you post this? Su Man's long-suppressed anger finally erupted. Wen Zhixiao, if it weren't for you, Brother Lu wouldn't have broken up with me. You shameless woman, you were just jealous that I found a wealthy boyfriend, so you seduced him. Her face contorted with rage before your eyes. You looked at her, amused. Oh, are you sure he was your boyfriend? Su Man was about to retort when she noticed a new post on the confession wall. The content was simple, a screenshot of the initial conversation from a messaging app sent by Lu Qingyu. Can I see a photo of you? Below this message, the other party sent a selfie. A girl smiling lazily at the camera, the corners of her lips curling up. It was you, Wen Zhixia. The very beginning of the story was your photo. Who could still call you the other woman, intruding on someone else's relationship? In just 2 days, the tide in the comments under the post completely turned. Everyone flooded into the post Su Man had published, accusing her of being jealous that you had found a high-quality boyfriend and fabricating lies to slander you. Su Man panicked and posted 2 months' worth of chat logs, only to be mocked by everyone. Who knows who this guy even is? It's probably you chatting with your own alternate account. Unable to bear the pointing fingers and gossip around her, Su Man went through early withdrawal procedures 1 month before graduation and stepped into society. In the original plot, Su Man never suffered the hardships of society. Right after graduation, she became the CEO's wife, living a sweet romantic life with Lu Qingyu. This time, without you as their stepping stone, it's uncertain whether they will fall in love according to the original storyline. Tang Yu patted your shoulder. Zhixiao, that President Lu is waiting for you downstairs again. Such an outstanding man. Aren't you planning to accept his confession? You glance out the window. Lu Qingyu is eagerly waiting at the dormitory entrance, hoping to catch a glimpse of you. Accept him? A cold smile curls at the corner of your lips. What a domineering CEO who claims to care only about inner qualities. Deep down, he still prefers youthful, pretty faces. No matter how much he likes you now, it's merely a fleeting infatuation. Rather than being the male lead's caged canary in some sweet romance novel, it's better to use his resources to climb higher. Graduation season arrives. In the original plot, Su Man and Lu Qingyu were already deeply involved by this time. To prove his love for the female lead, the male lead had already begun to suppress your family's company. But now, the plot has completely reversed. Lu Qingyu, to prove that he has loved only you from beginning to end, has begun targeting Su Man, making all companies reject her resume, and even causing her to hit walls everywhere when trying to rent an apartment. Like a triumphant general, he rushed before you to claim credit. Zhixiao, I have loved only you from the start, never anyone else. No, he loves only himself. The long unseen bullet comments began scrolling once more. The female lead has fallen into such dire straits, and there's no chance with the male lead anymore. How is this book even readable? Looks like the female lead has changed. The perspective was following Su Man before, but now it's shifted to Wen Zhixia. Why read those sweet, doting romance novels about delicate wives? It's better to watch a strong female lead focus on her career. Look, when Jixia still hasn't accepted the male lead's confession, you averted your gaze. Of course you wouldn't agree to him. Money and power are the things one should truly hold in hand. As for a man who only cares about looks, he will surely be the first to leave when your beauty fades. Since you have already awakened to the plot, the opportunities of the Liu family should be taken over by you. You carefully combed through the plot information from the bullet comments. Your family's business was much smaller than the Liu family's, but the Liu family was an old-fashioned enterprise with increasingly outdated products that simply couldn't meet current market demands. In the original plot, Liu Qingyu seized the opportunity and successfully transformed the Liu family from an old-fashioned enterprise into a darling of the new era industry. Now, this opportunity should be yours to seize. You swiftly mobilized your family, registered a new company ahead of others, and plunged headfirst into the new industry. The company expanded at an astonishing speed, rapidly capturing the market. Meanwhile, the Liu family also began facing the challenge of transitioning from old to new, ultimately ending in complete failure. In just 3 short years, the Liu family's business shrank by 80%. During these 3 years, you hardly paid any attention to news about Liu Qingyu until bullet comments once again scrolled across the sky. The male lead's halo in this book has vanished, leaving only Wen Jixia as the sole female lead. What kind of male lead is Liu Qingyu? The Liu family is almost bankrupt, their assets have been sold off, and he still thinks he's a domineering CEO? Look, Liu Qingyu is here to see Wen Jixia. He must be here to seek investment. The Liu family's capital chain has completely snapped. Without new investment, this commercial behemoth will soon come crashing down. As soon as Liu Qingyu saw you, he eagerly grabbed your hand. Jixia, I've always liked you. Invest in the Liu family, and then let's get married, okay? You sneered, wrenching your hand free from his grip. Have you forgotten, Mr. Liu? The one who chatted with you back then was Su Man. The one you should have married is her. Liu Qingyu's face froze in shock. Before being dragged away by security, he asked desperately, if it had been you chatting with me from the very beginning, would we have ended up together? You laughed heartily, then shook your head. No, from the very beginning, I wouldn't have chatted with you at all. Liu Qingyu's expression darkened completely, the light in his eyes fading bit by bit. Outside the company, Su Man had been waiting for him for a long time. The moment she saw the man being escorted out by security, she rushed forward and clung desperately to his clothes. I am your girlfriend. I was the one chatting with you from the start. How could you shift your affection to someone else? 3 years had passed, and even as the Liu family teetered on the brink of bankruptcy, Su Man still clung to her dream of being the CEO's wife. Liu Qingyu shoved her hand away fiercely, his tone dripping with disgust. How could an ugly creature like you ever be fit to be my girlfriend? Go home and look in the mirror, see what you really are. I have loved Jixia from the very beginning. If you hadn't sent her photo back then, I wouldn't have spoken a single word to you. He finally spoke his mind without the slightest concealment. In response, Su Man let out a hysterical roar. Liu Qingyu, you heartless scoundrel. You'll never shake me off in this lifetime. You stand before the floor-to-ceiling window on the 22nd floor, looking down at the commotion below from your commanding height. The male and female leads, who were madly in love in the original plot, are now locked in a fierce struggle, tearing at each other's dignity. On the day the company successfully went public, dense streams of bullet comments once again rolled across the horizon. The stepping stone has staged a comeback. I declare, Wen Jixia is the most worthy female lead to follow. Look at the original male and female leads. They actually ended up together. What's so appealing about a life full of trivial troubles? Better to watch Jixia build her career. The bullet comments provided fragmented information, from which you pieced together their ending. Su Man and Liu Qingyu ultimately remained entangled with each other. Over these 3 years, they resented each other, yet couldn't break free. Worn down both physically and mentally, they miraculously ended up as a bitter couple. After the Liu family went completely bankrupt, the two rented the shabbiest house in the city's urban village, where every day was filled with quarrels and angry shouts. Liu Qingyu resented Su Man for deceiving him with fake photos, ruining his initial infatuation. Su Man, in turn, raged at his incompetence and bankruptcy, which shattered her dream of marrying into wealth. They blamed all their misfortunes on each other, never considering that the beginning of this farce was itself a mistake built on deception. Among those gossipy bullet comments, people were still delightedly discussing the daily lives of this bitter couple. Some sighed with pity, others mocked. Amidst this chaotic stream of comments, one stood out particularly, suddenly catching your eye. Do you think Wen Jixia can be a good female lead? You gaze out the window at the rows of towering buildings, sunlight spilling over you, casting a golden halo. You part your lips slightly, whispering to the bullet comments on the horizon and to yourself. As the female lead, I will never let you down. Wind slips through the gaps in the floor-to-ceiling window, rustling the listing documents on your desk. The name, Wen Jixia, written there is sharp and resolute, leaving no room for doubt. Your story has only just begun. No fate as a stepping stone, only a vast future steered by your own hands.